So, hello everybody. So nice of you to be viewing this video of me talking about energy healing in general, and then specifically about the blue energy that I channel. My name is Hock Yeoh, and before I begin, let us just talk about mainstream medicine. What is the role of mainstream medicine these days? Of course, medicine or modern medicine has played a very important and significant role in our lives. There are no doubt. There had been many advancements in medicine, like in diagnostics, in surgery, in oncology, and the list goes on. However, there are several setbacks or disadvantages that I can think of. So, what are these disadvantages? As in many systems, there are also advantages and disadvantages, but relying on only one system to help in your the cure of your ailments is very disadvantaged. Now, what are some of these disadvantages of modern medicine? The first one that I can think of is really the high cost that will only keep escalating. The cost of medicine, the cost of hospital charges, investigations, the cost of doctors' fees, and so on. The second big disadvantage is that of the various invasive investigations, and some of these carry the complications of morbidity and mortality. For example, cardiac catheterization is not without risk, and laparoscopy and sigmoidoscopy and all the other various invasive investigations. The third disadvantage is that many medical facilities may be built, hospitals, even clinics and private clinics, private practices, but not all of these are accessible to the rural population because of logistics. And the fourth pretty common disadvantage is that the very medicine itself may carry serious side effects and drug interactions. Some side effects are like excessive bleeding when the anticoagulants that you are using are not well titrated, or excessive lowering of the blood glucose level when the diabetic drugs are overprescribed. The fifth disadvantage of modern medicine is excessive investigations. And as I said, investigations can cause complications. But many of these investigations are actually not really necessary. It is just because of the defensive medicine that doctors are practicing in the climate of medical legal issues. Now, the sixth problem actually is um, super specialization, because super specialists don't really see the overall problem. They just zoom in and they concentrate on for example, the liver specialist would concentrate on only the liver and may not um, detect that you may also have a cardiac condition, unless, of course, you have a previous history. And there is actually a story among us medical doctors is that there was a patient referred to several specialists when he was admitted in hospital. So there was the oncologists, the cardiologists, the hepatologists, the renal physician, the hematologist, the radiologist, and then the surgeon, and so on. They were all gathered around the bed of the patient discussing the complicated case. And finally, one of them, the most senior of all these super consultants, had to say, I think we have to refer him back to his general practitioner. Well, that's a true story. So super specialization nowadays is not really the answer. And the other thing is that uh, what are the other modalities that you can seek? What are the other systems of healing that is available? And therefore, I'm just going to make a short summary on most of the most common systems or modalities. And but I still say that not all of these systems can solve your particular problem, because each of them have their own usefulness. The first alternative medicine that I can think of and most common is herbal medicine. Um, Herbal medicine takes a longer time to act, and unfortunately, the word herbal is very misleading in the sense that businessmen have labeled their product as herbal, and people think that herbals do not have any side effects, which is not true. All right. So don't be just be bought over by the labeling of this is a herbal medicine. So herbal medicine also has some serious side effects. I'm sure you may know some. The next system of alternative medicine is acupuncture, which is very ancient and it also very well documented, especially so in acupuncture anesthesia, which actually has almost no known complication as opposed to the general anesthesia of modern medicine. And many complicated and long surgery had been done under acupuncture anesthesia. The next in line, the third one that I have in mind is traditional Chinese medicine, which is also very ancient. There are several systems of traditional Chinese medicine, and they are also quite slow working as opposed to modern medicine. So you may not have the patience, and but it is becoming popular. Yeah. The fourth alternative system of healing is homeopathy. And it is pretty useful, and it has the concept of like cures like. And the active ingredient, when they are diluted to several dilutions, the more diluted it is, the more potent it is. This is probably more used in Germany. Then fifth on the list is massage. Massage therapy is very common, and you have Tuina, which is a Chinese system of massage. You have the Japanese massage, the Thai massage, which is also very famous. And of course, massage therapy is only useful mainly to the muscular skeletal system. Sixth on the list is the Ayurvedic medicine, which is also very ancient and very well documented, and is also quite popular in many areas. The next I can think of is actually essential oils. Yes, it certainly has a role to play, and I think we need to explore a little bit or more on the central oils. Eighth on my list is sound therapy, which may use singing bowls or tuning forks. And I believe that sound therapy will make huge advances, even by conventional medical doctors who will be investigating this form in the future. Associated with sound therapy, ninth on my list is music therapy. And this is actually pretty new. And at the moment, I'm working with Dr. Angela Burnett on her composition of celestial music, the music of the spheres. And I'm still working with her on several of her compositions, and these are very healing music compositions. I call it celestial music. And we have a lot of projects going on in this area. 10th of the list, and actually free of charge, is fasting. Fasting is a very good way to detox your body. Yeah. So on the 11th modality I can think of is meditation. Meditation is a pretty powerful method, and of course you need someone to guide you in that meditation practice. 12th on the list is actually crystals, and this is actually a huge topic. And indeed, it is a good way to heal, especially in the time of the Andromedians and the Lemurians. Even in Atlantis, they use a lot of crystal healing. 13th is called what I call healing mantras. I use a lot of mantras, and it is a good idea to know some of these mantras. Now let's talk about energy healing. We've covered what are the other forms of therapy in brief. And now I'm going to talk about slightly more detail about energy healing. It is commonly seen, energy healing is commonly seen in the practice of Reiki and prana healing. And nowadays, I myself use Reiki, but very much less. And because I channel blue energy from the eastern heavens, I'm using it a lot in my work, a lot in my healing work. Perhaps very few of you have heard of blue energy, and I'm not surprised because it's pretty rare, as there are not many of Earth's channeling blue energy. Blue energy was founded by Master Wayne Tan Wailing. Is the mystic traveler. Is everywhere. And blue comes from the eastern heaven, and the energy is to understand more deeply how blue energy works. I think I would relate to you how I use it, how I apply blue energy in healing my clients or patients. And so I use blue energy in the following manner. The first is, of course, in general healing, where the person is in front of me, and I will conduct the transference of energy and healing. The second method is through remote or distant healing, whereby I just need the name of the patient, the address or the location, exact location, and at an appointed time and date, he or she may just sit still or lie still, and I will transmit the energy to the person concerned. But location is very important in distant healing, because let me give you an example. I had a client from Singapore who was admitted for unspecified or what we call as fever of unknown origin, and he was in the hospital intensive care for about 2 to 3 weeks before his relative contacted me. And so, okay, I will try my best, and I need the following information. I just said to them, I need his name, the ward that he's in, which floor, and even the bed number. So I began a series of healing, and apparently it got better, and they discharged him from the intensive care. But I wasn't informed. And when I gave follow-up healing, I was very confused because I know if a person is receiving it or not. And I really got worried because I said to myself, what's happening? And is he dead? It was only then later that I got news from him, and he said that he, hi, they moved me out of the intensive care, and I'm now in a general ward, and I feel better. So, um, exact location is pretty important in distant or remote healing. And I do remote body scans to make diagnosis mainly. Um, some problem can arise from body scans in the sense that sometimes as energetic healer, we can detect an ailment perhaps years or months or weeks before it surfaces. And if you undergo a blood test, it may not show up yet. So, but body scans help me a lot in diagnosing the entire status of the person. I also use blue healing and timeline healing. This is when I trace your present condition due to a trauma in one of your past lives, and I go back into your past life to heal the trauma. Yes, and there are quite a bit of cases that require timeline healing. The fifth way I use blue energy is that of ancestral healing, which is much related to timeline healing because this time the trauma experienced by one of the ancestors has trickled down through the generations and affect the person concerned. So once I trace it, whether it's maternal or paternal side, and I go right up to the generation that had suffered from the emotional trauma usually, and then I will go back in time and heal that ancestor so that you will be healed. In fact, one case that I did and I investigated further, in fact, it went up to the grandfather, and therefore, when I did the release of the trauma, the emotions that was blocked and experienced from the grandfather, the father, and then him, the grandfather and the father's soul, they were all deceased, were very happy. So I healed them all. Soul alignment is also one of the modalities that can be used in new healing, and in conjunction with this is actually chakra balancing. The seventh way I use blue healing knowledge is counseling, because counseling is very important. In fact, I would suggest to have a counseling session with me before, so that I can explore which of the alternative healing that you may need, and then the scope of healing that I can perform for you. The eighth way I use blue energy is actually release of spirit attachment and implant removal. And I find that it is quite common. Um, related to these spirit attachment and implant removal is also I do perform ghost busting. And you know, certain places, houses, bungalows, and apartments may have a wandering spirit, a wandering ghost, and we actually had to uh, release the trapped soul from our dimension and bring it to where it should belong. And I would give a little bit of a story that happened to my own apartment. You see, we had an apartment uh, recently bought not too long ago, although we just go there for the weekends. And we installed a CCTV, and this CCTV would inform or alert me in the middle of the night. My phone would ring, and then there will be the camera catching uh, the disturbance, which I found to be the image of a ghost. So together with my Sifu, at that time I was still under training with my Sifu, Wayne Tan, Wailing. And he guided me to clear this soul. In the investigations, I discovered that it was the soul of a Japanese soldier from World War II who didn't surrender after World War II was declared no more. So he remained in the jungles in the hilly part of my island. And he died of natural causes in his old age. And he remained there. So in modern times, when the jungle were cleared and construction began, his soul remained in the same area and happened to stay in my apartment. So I did the soul release, and it wasn't too hard, but I need to call his departed wife as well, so that with somebody familiar, the wife would coax him and ask him to leave the three-dimensional realm and go to the spirit world. And he was escorted with light beings and released from his being trapped in our world. And the thing is that blue energy is very versatile, very, very versatile. And I also now would like to say, apart from blue, I do use some other methods. As I mentioned before, I use Reiki, but nowadays it's just about like 1% to 2% max of all my healing cases. Then I have medical feng shui. Some of the diseases and ailments of a person can be cured without a tablet by just doing a feng shui, and which is actually an energy analysis, and identify where all these negative energies, or what we call sha qi, that is affecting the person. And that's my area of expertise in feng shui. I had several cases where I managed to help them. Then, of course, I have also spirit guides that I can call for help. And these are mainly medical specialists in their previous lives. So I can call a spirit surgeon or spirit dentist or a spirit orthopedic surgeon, as the case may be. And I use them, I call them to heal myself. Next is some frequently asked questions about blue energy, which I'm going to touch on. And one of the most common is that, are there any side effects of receiving blue energy? Okay. The first and best side effect is that you're being cured. This can be in the first session itself, or it can be after a series of sessions. And we don't know. It all depends on the severity of your condition. And the second side effects may be that you may feel a little bit dizzy, or you can feel something happening in your body, and like waves of energy coming, and not very many people can feel these, but some do. In fact, one of the best feedback that I ever had about feeling the energy of blue is from a Buddhist monk from Myanmar who was seriously ill. He was my Zen master also. And so I was called to attend to him. And I said to him that I'm going to give him healing. And he agreed, and I proceeded. I knew that he was receiving huge amount of blue energy. That shows his critical condition. And after the session, he just held my hands and he said to me, you know, he said he has never seen so bright lights coming out and reaching him. And he was amazed. So he was one of the few people who can see energy. And then the third side effect is you may feel nothing. And this is very, very common. And there's nothing to worry because the energy works in you nevertheless. So I can give healing wherever you are by remote healing. And this is the advantage where if you live very far away in remote areas, or you want to avoid pharmaceutical medications and expensive medical investigations, then I will be able to do it for you. The next frequently asked question is that, can you receive blue even if you are healthy? Yeah, of course, why not? Because the energy, the blue energy will actually recharge your system. And it's also able to remove certain blockages which have not manifested. I remember a CEO of a company, a very busy man, who came to me to get blue energy boost because he found that after the session he was able to sleep, he's much more relaxed, and he can perform his work better. And in fact, he made a few appointments for a session every time when he felt very, very stressful. So, but what you can ask me again, what diseases specifically can blue energy help? Well, let me put it this way. If you have seen a medical specialist and you have seen some other healers and it's not really solving your problem, I think you should try blue energy and me. And that is the best way I can say, because one never knows whether blue energy can help or not if you don't try. And I also regard myself as the real deal healer. I'll tell you why. Because I know a lot of, the first reason is I know a lot of medicine because I'm a medical consultant and geriatrics is my specialty. So I can give you a lot of medical advice. And I can even tell you that you need conventional medicine or you require energy healing. And but first and foremost, I am a doctor, and I will look at it at that point of view first. You know, then I have what they call my second reason, calling me the real deal healers, because I have a loose team of super healers, the best in their area in the world. I call it a loose team or a ragtag team because nobody's in charge, and you know, we just help each other. And so it also means that if I can't help you or heal you, I will not abandon you, but provide you with one of these super healers if you need, or I can seek help from them to help me to help you. So who can I call? Um, these are the healers that I can call and in random order. The first is, of course, my blue energy Sifu, Master Wayne Tan Welling, and I've called him many times. The second person on my list is Miss Linda Lang of Canada, and she works very well with water energy. The third person I may call is Miss Julie Claire, also of Canada, and she's a spiritual guide. Then I may ask the fourth on my list is Marco of Serbia, and he uses Andromedian alchemy. Or I may call on the fifth on my list is Ken Cagley of the USA. Ken is a warrior type, and my partner in several missions that we have done, and he's the best ghostbuster on the planet. So if I do have a special case of ghost busting which I can't handle, I will certainly also invite Ken Cagley to help me out. The sixth person on my list is Zahara Celestial of the UK, and she's an ascension guide. Or I can call Miss Carrie Chu of the UK, and she's an intuitive healer. Then the eighth person on my list is Master Tao Huang, a Taoist master of the USA, and he also do ancestral healing via meridian points and historical clearing of conscious using conscious realignment. The next on my list is Etienne Chalon. No fixed address. He moves around, and he practiced royal alchemy of the highest order. It's a galactic war. Then 10th person I may call is Dr. Angela Barnett of the USA, and she's also known, she's actually Mary Magdalene, and she uses heavenly music that she composes for healing. Very, very, very powerful. So I'm also collaborating with her on some cosmic issues. Maybe the last person that I can think of on my list is Kosol Hoot of USA, and is a sober soldier for difficult task. Now, I also have on my list a team of invisible spirit doctors, which I mentioned before, and they are medical doctors, specialists who have crossed over and who is still doing healing now energetically. So that's why I call myself the real deal healer, because if I can't help you, I'll call one of these sources. In fact, I made an archangel made a clarion call, and I have answered the call. Previously, I was like a hermit. I only heal those who come across me by accident, and that's it. But I have been asked by the archangel to come out, and hence I'm now talking to everybody here. Lastly, before I close the video, let me tell you a secret. I know it from within my heart that energy healers will play a very big and important role in the very near future, because we are involved in Earth's ascension and process. We hold the light, we stabilize the new energy grid, and some of us are guardians of the portals and gateway, and some of us are co-creators of new gateways and bringing in huge amount of light. The populace will be disillusioned by basically mainstream medicine and seek out energy healers. And this is confirmed by America's top psychic, Michelle White Dove. And she said, when chaos reigns, when establishments fall, when infrastructures are destroyed, the energy healers, we the energy healers, will be the mainstream. With this, I end my message and wish you all a good health, happiness, and life of abundance. And I will show you my Facebook page in case there is a need to contact me. And this is the yeah. This is my Facebook page, Assault Direct Fifth Dimension at Hock Yeoh 13. And if you can remember the picture here, it means that you have come to the right way, a right page. And in case you need to contact me, you can get it done over here. So once again, I wish you all a life of abundance, happiness, good health, and I end this video on top. Out.